Okay, I want you to imagine something. Imagine a world where your entire day, your whole life, ends when the sun goes down. Where talking to a friend who lives far away means waiting, maybe for weeks, for a letter to arrive. And where the sky, well, that belongs only to the birds. Now imagine all of that changing, completely, within a single human lifetime. Today, we're going to look at 4 technologies that didn't just make life a little more convenient, they fundamentally redesigned everything.
So, before the industrial age, the world felt absolutely immense. Life moved at the pace of a horse. A journey of just 100 kilometers, I mean, that's a morning commute for a lot of us. That was an exhausting all-day trek. Our world was physically defined by these really severe limits on how far and, more importantly, how fast we could possibly go.
And it wasn't just how we traveled, right? It was how we talked to each other. Communication moved at the speed of a horse, or maybe a ship if you were lucky. A simple back and forth with someone in another city was the slow-motion exchange of letters that took weeks. The very idea of an instant connection, that was pure science fiction.
But you know, the most profound limit of all wasn't distance. It was time itself. The rhythm of daily life was completely dictated by the sun. When it set, the world just stopped. Work, socializing, pretty much everything depended on daylight. And then, in just a few short decades, that entire reality was completely rewritten from the ground up.
So, what caused this incredible shift? Well, it was 4 key technologies that really drove this whole transformation: electricity, the telephone, the automobile, and flight. So in this explainer, we're going to break down how each one didn't just solve a problem, but actually created entirely new design challenges that, believe it or not, we are still grappling with today.
Let's start with the one that literally defeated the night: electricity. Its greatest power, really, was separating human activity from natural time. It allowed us to design a world that never, ever had to sleep.
Before electricity, architecture was basically a slave to the sun. Buildings had to be shallow, they needed huge windows, because every single room needed access to natural light. But with the electric light, suddenly deep floor plans were possible. You could have rooms with no windows at all, like bathrooms or theaters in the middle of a building. This simple change, when you combine it with the electric elevator, gave birth to the modern skyscraper.
But here's the thing. Designers didn't immediately get what electricity could do. And this shows a classic pattern you see with every new technology. At first, we make the new thing look like the old thing it replaced. Early electric lamps, they were designed to look just like gas lamps. I mean, think about how the first iPhone apps were made to look like physical notepads or calculators. It just takes time for a new technology to find its own unique design language. And this period, this really marked the birth of industrial design as a profession.
And of course, every solution creates new problems. The total triumph of electricity has left us with a pretty complex legacy. Designers today have to wrestle with sustainability, the huge environmental cost of generating power, light pollution that messes with ecosystems, and of course, the psychological strain of an always-on culture that completely blurs the line between work and rest.
Okay, next up, let's look at the technology that completely conquered distance: the telephone. If electricity allowed us to design beyond daylight, the telephone forced us to design for a totally new and kind of weird concept: absence.
I mean, really think about that. How do you start a conversation when you can't see the other person's face? You can't read their expression. Well, the word hello became the standard answer to that design problem. How do you have a private conversation when, back then, operators could literally listen in? The telephone booth was designed as the solution. It was a tiny piece of private architecture dropped into a public space. An entirely new set of social rules and physical designs had to be invented from scratch.
And this evolution is just fascinating. The focus of the design shifted so much over a century. At first, it was all about product design, the physical object you held in your hand. Then, it moved to interface design, how you actually use it, from that old rotary dial to push buttons. From there, it became about service design, the network, things like voicemail and call waiting. And today? Oh, it's all about experience design, with the smartphone basically acting as a gateway to an entire digital world.
Next up, the automobile. Now, this wasn't just a faster horse. This was a technology that completely re-engineered the very fabric of our cities and our whole concept of freedom and movement.
The impact of the car is so profound that it's almost invisible to us now. But consider this. In some downtown areas, up to 60% of all the land is dedicated just to parking cars. Think about that. Not for parks, not for housing, not for people, for storing vehicles. We didn't just design cars, we completely redesigned our cities around them.
And this really gets at the fundamental trade-off, doesn't it? When you have limited urban space, what should we prioritize? Your answer to this question says a whole lot about what you believe the purpose of a city actually is. Is it for moving cars around efficiently? Or is it for human connection and well-being? There's no single right answer, of course, but it's a core question for every urban designer today.
The car's incredible success created these massive modern challenges. So now designers are focused on trying to fix them. They're mitigating the environmental impact with electric vehicles, they're tackling safety with autonomous systems, and they're rethinking cities to be more equitable and human-scaled with concepts like the 15-minute city.
And now for our final catalyst, flight. This was, you could argue, the ultimate design challenge, solving a problem that biology and gravity basically told us was impossible. It required a whole new way of thinking about design.
In aerospace design, physics is the ultimate and most unforgiving client. There's no arguing with it. This created this unique design culture where safety is the absolute #1 prime directive. Everything is built with redundancy. That just means you don't have one critical system, you have backups for your backups, making sure that even if one tiny part fails, the whole thing doesn't come crashing down.
And this obsession with design, it extends to details you have probably never even thought about. Let's take the airplane toilet. It is not just a toilet, it is a lightweight, freezing-resistant sanitation system that uses a powerful vacuum, all designed to work perfectly at 35,000 feet. Every single piece is a design marvel.
So the key thing to realize is that these technologies didn't just exist side by side. No, they wove together to create the complex fabric of our modern life. And in doing so, they created a whole new world and a whole new set of problems and professions to solve them.
You see, the challenges that were posed by mass production, by mass transit, by mass communication, they led to the birth of entirely new professions. Industrial design, graphic design, service design. None of these really existed in their modern form before this era. New technologies created new problems, which required new kinds of designers to solve them. And right here, you can see just how deeply interconnected these systems are today. Just think about something as modern as remote work. It is only possible because of electricity powering our devices, the telephone's legacy enabling our video calls, the automobile delivering our packages, and flight allowing for those really essential in-person meetings. You can't untangle them. They form the operating system of our entire world.
So what is the ultimate lesson here? What should we take away from all this? It's that new technology never just adds a feature. It redesigns entire systems. And every solution we create inevitably introduces new, unforeseen problems. And maybe most importantly, the future is not fixed. The choices we make about technology have real, tangible, lasting consequences.
And that leaves us with a final, and I think a really crucial question. Whether you're a designer, an engineer, an artist, or just a citizen in this world, the things we are creating today, from AI algorithms to new social platforms, all of it will have ripple effects for decades to come. The lesson from the industrial age is to think about those second and third order effects. So what are the unforeseen consequences of the world that we're building right now?